Mercedes, what do you make of this? That basically this mother enabled homicidal behavior by giving her son access to this incredibly powerful, fast car when she knew and had physical evidence that he was driving, I don't think recklessly even begins to describe it.
It's really a very tough case for the prosecution, and how terrible it is for this parent. I mean, my heart breaks for her as a parent myself. But it is going to be a very difficult case because it's not like the mother handed a dangerous instrument like the Crumbleys. The Crumbleys knew their child was suffering from some mental health issues and handed him a gun. It's going to be very difficult for jurors to say, when I give the keys to my son, my daughter, they're going to use that car and kill someone. So there is that whole factor of foreseeability. You're absolutely right.
I don't know. I think driving 153 miles per hour through, residential streets.
So there is, those text messages are very damning. But what might save the mom is, Ms. Tig, is that she was not home the night that he drove that car. It's been reported that she was in Canada at the time. Yes, she didn't secure the keys to the car, but it's not like she handed the keys to her son. And we already have a history where her son was out of control, was not really listening to the mom. So those are all factors that the defense can use and get to try to get an acquittal, if it's even prosecuted.
Mark, what do you think? Are prosecutors going to pursue charges against the mother, as the victim's family has publicly demanded?
No, it's a tough decision for the Wayne County prosecutor to make. That's why she's being very circumspect. She's limiting her communications right now with the family because they're looking at the evidence very closely. I mean, this case is expanding the law if it was to be brought, and also depending on the kind of charges that would be brought. But if they are to bring involuntary manslaughter charges like they did with the Crumbleys, they are going to have to deal with the foreseeability issue that Mercedes has outlined here. After the Crumbly case, prosecutors and defense lawyers from around the country were watching the case very closely to wonder if this was going to be a roadmap for future cases where parents don't protect others from their children. And in fact, in the voir dire in that case, the jurors were specifically asked about the situation of a reckless child driver.
Right.
And jurors there kind of foresaw what probably the prosecutor is looking at here, saying that, well, if the child snuck out without the parents' notice of that, that would be one thing. But if the parents knew that the child was using the car, that would be another. So I think Mercedes has outlined a key issue here is, what did the mom know on the day in question?
Yeah, Mercedes, I just can't get past all the ample evidence that that kid had no business behind the wheel of a car. I mean, I don't know how many times he's got to go and videotape himself and take screenshots himself of his own. I mean, we're talking 120 miles per hour through a 25 mile per hour speed zone. That's a residential street.
You're so right, Elizabeth, but it really goes down to what the mom knew on the day of question. Yes, maybe she should have taken all the keys away. Maybe she should have restricted, but this is a child who was already out of control. We all know that. And the day in question, she wasn't even in the country. Those are things that the defense is going to use to try to exonerate her.
So even if you're saying that even if the prosecution, even if the district attorney in this case does decide to pursue charges, she's got a good defense here.
Oh, undoubtedly. And it might go exactly to what Mark said. It might even be such a difficult case, the prosecution may not seek that because at the end of the day, you have to have jurors that sit there and say, wow, a car can be a dangerous instrumentality. It's very different than handing your child a gun that has mental health issues.
Mark, when the Crumbly case was going on, we were all wondering, is this going to open a Pandora's box? Like, are all of a sudden parents across the United States of America going to suddenly be facing charges for things that their kids do that they had nothing to do with, but somehow could have or should have stopped?
Yeah, I mean, one of the criticisms of some of the legal analysts about the Crumbly case was that it was pressing the envelope there for parental responsibility. But the prosecutor did a good job to say that you got to look at each case on its facts. And there were some very unique facts in that case, some very extreme facts that argued in favor of a prosecution and ultimately conviction. In the Crumbly case, they knew of their son's deteriorating mental state, his fascination with guns, his dark and violent thoughts. But here, you have some similarities. The mom knew that her son, as you said, was a reckless driver. He loved to drive beyond the safe speed limits in residential neighborhoods. So this wasn't aberrant behavior. It wasn't a one-time error.
Yeah,
in
it wasn't a one-off.
Right. And, in both cases, the parents gave their son access to a dangerous instrument very shortly before the crime. In the Crumbly case, they gave him a 9mm Sig Sauer just 4 days before the crime. Here, the mom gave him access to her BMW that she purchased 1 month before the crime. And, in both cases, there's an issue of whether they failed to secure this dangerous instrument. In the Crumbly case, it was the cable locks. Here, she left the keys at home and she left the BMW there. What did you think was going to happen? And both of them ignored red flags. And so those are the kind of things that the prosecutor is going to look at. But, as Mercedes said, this case is difficult. A lot of jurors are going to think, could this happen to me?
Yeah, we saw that really with both juries in the Crumbly case, and I think it will be even stronger when you start looking at driving the car.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen, and don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.